Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. Well, the Indiana Chamber of Commerce has just released its Indiana Vision 2025, an analysis that is really taking an innovative approach to measuring the state's economic competitiveness. It reinforces previous findings that really shows deficits in education preparation, workforce development, could have wide-ranging ramifications for the state. With more now on how the Hoosier State ranks among key competitor states, pleased to welcome to the show, as always, Indiana Chamber of Commerce President Kevin Brinegar. And Kevin, welcome back to the show.
Hello, Gary. Good to visit with you.
Let's start right off. I think this report it's unique, and I think especially interesting because rather than looking at Indiana nationally or Indiana just to the Midwest, you picked out competitor states, Utah, North Carolina, and others, and really measured Indiana against those states.
Yes, indeed. We took a close look at those states that we thought were competitor states as well as our surrounding states and how we're doing on some of the key metrics that we produce in our Indiana Vision 2025 biennial report card.
As you look at that, there are some positives, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but I was really struck by some of the challenges that this report shows Indiana faces, especially when it comes to educational attainment and talent.
Yeah, there's no question that we have made great progress in a number of areas. Our business climate ranks high among these states. We have a funded transportation infrastructure plan, and we have enhanced the percentage of Hoosiers who have a college degree or an industry-recognized credential by about 10%. And by my estimate, that's an additional 500,000 Hoosiers. But yet, we still rank 38th among the 50 states, and we trail nearly all of these 9 surrounding and competitor states. And that's cause for alarm and will point to some needed action in the 2021 session of the General Assembly and beyond.
Yeah, and as you look at that, you talk about trailing, in particular, states like Utah and Minnesota who have not been standing still, who've really been focused on this talent issue.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's a moving target, and it's challenging not only to make absolute progress, but it's particularly challenging to make relative progress compared to other states that are moving forward. That's why we need to keep our foot on the gas and enhance the skills of our students coming out of high school as well as those in the workforce in order to be able to compete in this globally competitive, knowledge-based economy.
As you look at attractive business climate, I think it's interesting that you point out you feel as though the state's health, smoking rates, obesity, those issues that have plagued the state for a while, contributing in a negative way to that business attractiveness.
Yeah, it does. We have great business attractiveness in terms of tax and regulatory and other factors, but our health metrics are frankly quite poor. They're very costly to the business community. There's one estimate that smoking alone costs Indiana businesses $6.2 billion a year, and higher healthcare costs, lost productivity, absenteeism. That's a drag on profitability. That's $6.2 billion that doesn't go into training or wages or benefits. And we think that's tied to the educational attainment because people with college degrees and higher levels of education and training tend to live healthier lifestyles. And so a lot of these things are interconnected.
As you look at innovation, dynamic and creative culture, Indiana making some gains there and does pretty well. But when you look at the important categories like new entrepreneurs and share of employment at firms less than 5 years, Indiana just doesn't yet stack up there.
No, we're not creating new businesses as fast as other states are, and that's an area of emphasis. We've challenged our Economic Development Policy Committee and our internal tech policy committees to come up with some ideas and solutions that we can present to the General Assembly in the 2021 session.
Kevin, on a statewide basis, perhaps this is a call out to our viewers and friends in places like Fort Wayne and South Bend and Evansville, but you're looking at innovation and the great gains that have been made there, a lot of it in central Indiana, but according to the report, there needs to be more on a statewide basis.
Yes, the report card includes regional data as well through the 12 economic development regions. And you're right, in that innovation area, there is more activity and higher levels of achievement in central Indiana. But we're encouraged that across all 12 regions, there were 10 metrics, and all of the regions saw a positive improvement in their scores in over half, and some of them 8 out of the 10 metrics. Plus, we saw some in-migration, both statewide and in certain regions of the state, that we think is a real plus to Indiana as well.
Indiana Chamber's Vision 2025 report card, a lot of really interesting data in it. Kevin Brinegar, as always, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Gary. My pleasure.
All right. And remember, you can catch that report too at InsideIndianaBusiness.com.